Hi guys, welcome back, and we're now going to talk about the real world example of finding your relative minor without having to do all of this, okay? And it's a really simple and elegant, I like to think, solution, okay? And it's going to be all based on the guitar, okay? So essentially, if we take what we've got up on the board at the moment, so D major and B minor, relative major and minor keys, let's find the D major on the E string, or even simpler, just D, the note D on the E string. Well, it's right up here on the 10th fret, okay? That is D. Now, essentially, when we're looking at lead stuff, and this is something we'll cover in the lead section of the guitar skills if you haven't seen it already, the beginners especially, we'd be then looking to play some scales based on that, okay? But here what we're doing is we're just trying to work out, well, how can I quickly say what my relative minor is? And then the second question, I guess, is why would I want to do that? Okay, and I'll show you, okay? So first of all, how can we do it? So the D is there, and if this is the major, then all we've got to do on the guitar is drop down 1, 2, 3 frets to get to the relative minor, okay? We can see that visually on the board as well. If we're on the major, we drop down a semitone and a tone, which is 3 frets in all, to get to the relative minor, okay? So let's have a look at it again. So we're on the D, and we're going down 1 semitone to the C sharp, and 2 more semitones, so 2 more frets to the B. So the difference between the relative minor on a guitar is just that. How cool is that? It's so easy, isn't it? Okay, now, that's same vice versa. So if I'm in the relative minor, so let's say I'm in A minor, okay, and I'm on my A. If I want to know quickly what the relative major is, I'm just going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3. And I found that we're actually on C, so the relative major is C major, okay? Simple as that. So it's literally a span of 3 frets either way. It's going up if you're going from major to minor, sorry, minor to major, and down if it's going from major down to the minor. Okay, so clarify, it's up if you're going from minor to major, and down if you're going from major down to minor, okay? So let's look at why we'd want to do that. So let's imagine we're writing a song. I'm just going to go with that for now, okay? And I've started in the key in a kind of major sense, right? And I've said to myself, right, I'm in the key of A major, and I want to very much find a way out of this endless major rambling. And, you know, I'm doing the 1, the 4, and the 5 in A major, which is fine, A, D, and E. And I want to think to myself, right, I'm going to go to my relative minor now because I want to switch this key on its head, and I want to try and now write something a little darker, a little more in minor. So the simple and elegant solution that I've constructed for you guys is simply take the major, go down 1, 2, 3, and you're on your relative minor, okay? So if you're going from the major root note down to the minor, 3 frets, you're now in your relative minor, okay? Let me just point out and clarify that this is only from the major root note, so the key of the major. It wouldn't work from the 4 or the 5. You can't go down 4 from there or 3 from there to get to the relative minor. It's only from the major, the relative major, down to the relative minor. Once I'm there, I can now find myself in a position where I can use a similar kind of construction to find all my minor chords, okay? Now, let me just show you what I mean by that, okay? If you notice when I do the major chords here, on the guitar it's so easy, because on the guitar, to go from my 1 to 4, I simply go from E string to A string, so from there to there. To go from 4 to 5, I simply go across 2 frets, of course. Okay. Now that's brilliant because that gives me my 3 major chords in the key. However, when I go to the minor, the relative minor, the brilliant news is that I can use exactly the same pattern. So to get to my next minor chord, the second, the 2, I go down again, 1, and then to get to my next minor chord, I go across 2. So it's this same kind of L-shaped pattern. Okay? So quite quickly, using this idea of swapping between relative majors and minors, I've gone between my 3 major chords in the key, hence giving it a very major vibe, swap down 3 frets, 1, 2, 3, to get to my relative minor, and use that same pattern, but with minor chords, to create basically the minor key as well. And then I can gradually just piece all these chords together. To create songs, right? So there we have it, okay? There's a really cool, pretty easy usage for this stuff, just on the guitar like that, just using shapes again. But mainly, the main thing that you're understanding is that the C major, or in this instance, the D major and the B minor are exactly the same. The root, the first and the sixth of a major are the same. One's the relative minor, one's the relative major, but they're the same essential scale. You just start from the different points, okay? So try and get that together, okay? And we'll just summarize everything that we've learned so far so that you have a really solid grounding to go to the slightly more tricky stuff that's going to come next.